I do want to say, there's nothing wrong with escaping. I mean, I empathize. How can we not? No shame to you or to me or to anybody. Fuck, I mean, I've spent my whole life escaping. Hours and hours of television since I was a kid. Beautiful summer days spent at home watching TV instead of going out and figuring out what I love to do and doing it. And then all through my 20s, just smoking weed every night and watching hours and hours of How I Met Your Mother, or going on hours and hours of Instagram and Facebook and Reddit. Oh my God, Reddit. 5-6 hours a day instead of being a freshman in college and trying to make friends and figuring out my place in the world. It was just so much easier to look at photos of cats and pizza. All to say I get it. I'm right here with you. Yeah, then what I'm realizing is that just because I want something doesn't mean that the path won't be painful. And that's okay. And that's perfectly fine. Life is painful. At times. Not always, at times. And it's also true that true satisfaction and pleasure comes from the acceptance of those feelings and doing the thing in spite of that. So if I want to ski better, I have to deal with the tedium of drills and the anxiety of steeper terrain and the frustration of not getting better on my own schedule. But if I can actually embrace that and not escape it, then eventually I do get better at skiing. And I get the satisfaction of living the life that I want to live. And I think with television and social media is they know that I prefer 100% pleasure, so it gives me that. But that's not real life. Then doing things that are hard, but truly satisfying, become incredibly difficult. And I've lost touch with what I truly want. Okay, so my purpose in life is to build the life that I want, right? To create the life that I want to live. At times, it can be hard, right? There can be frustration or grief or anger or fear. And so it's okay to take a break sometimes. Watching a couple episodes of Friends after a long day at work. That's fine, that's escape as relief, and that's fine at the right dose. But it's a problem when it's not just a couple of episodes. It's like 3 or 4 hours of Netflix every single night. And then it's like, every spare moment is filled with YouTube or Instagram or podcasts. And that's escape as avoidance. Where instead of living life, I'm immersed in a cheap imitation of it. I'm just like going on Instagram instead of spending time with friends. Or I'm like watching actors pretend to live cool lives on TV instead of living a cool life or creating a cool life for myself. And at a certain point, I'm using TV and social media to numb the pain and wash away the reality that I'm not living the life I want to live. I'm escaping the reality that I want life to be different. As I woke up one of these mornings, I was laughing. I had a dream, and it reminded me of this experiment that I did as a kid when I was like 4 or 5. And the experiment was, What if I didn't wipe after I pooed? And like, not just once. Okay, this was like weeks, months, like like a year of just not wiping after I pooed. My tidy-whities are they're just completely destroyed. Skid marks, brown. And I'm just like thinking about my poor mother, just doing laundry week after week, month after month, just being like, what is going on with my son? And eventually, she just started wiping my ass for me. She would fold like little rectangles of toilet paper and leave them on the back of the toilet as she just waited for me to finish pooping. It's been tough going on trips with my parents recently because they get up at 7 and they love tour groups and I don't. But I think maybe I can figure out a compromise and go on some trips with them before they're too old to travel, since my mom wiped my ass until I was well past the age for ass wiping. So what I think rest actually is pausing an activity that's taking up energy so that I can recharge. And so I think the key to rest is knowing what I'm resting from. So if I've been inside for a long time, maybe rest is like going for a walk outside. If I've been alone, maybe it's spending time with friends. Too much work, then some leisure. But I escape instead of rest, because rest can feel really, really intense. Because true rest means I'm still in contact with myself and I have to feel how tired I am. I have to feel myself. There's a lot. So I escape. If I can I can stay with that discomfort. I can stay and embrace that intensity of rest. Then I can actually restore my strength, so that I can have the energy to do the things I want to do. All right, so how do you embrace negative feelings? Well, the reason embracing feelings is hard isn't because they're actually unbearable. Joe Hudson talks about how every feeling, like anger, grief, or joy, or peace, it's just energy moving through the body. And it's hard because we label the difficult feelings as bad and then we try to push them away. And it's that resistance, that pushing of the bad feelings away, that's actually making the feeling unbearable. So meditation has really helped me, because when I actually pay close attention to the felt sense of a feeling in my body, it just flows right through me. And if it's really intense, then, movement, making sounds, that can really help express the feeling. And jhana meditation taught me something that I didn't expect, which is that there's pleasure at the root of every feeling, even grief, even anger, even fear. Look, there's a wise self in all of us. And that person has already accepted all of these feelings. You just got to find your way back there. Okay, so some practical tips. First, you can try sitting with those small, little difficult moments, like when you get home and you're tired, or you're bored waiting in line. Like if you can sit with it for just even a moment, you'll have a better chance of figuring out what you actually want to do next. And that's the thing, reclaiming your time and your desires like this, it adds up to big, big changes over time. Joe Hudson's emotional inquiry and the Waking Up app for meditation. Those are all really good resources for this. Links in the description. And I'm not getting paid to plug these, by the way. And second, figure out what real rest is for you. Like, what kind of rest truly restores you and it feels great to do it. For me, it's like singing in the bath, going for walks, and like reading and watching art as opposed to entertainment. And third, you can ask yourself, is this rest or is this escape? And if it's escape, how much escape do I want in my life? And the thing is, you probably already know. And finally, you can try detox from your phone, from the internet, from entertainment, from all kinds of escape. A detox makes the contrast in consciousness much more stark. And if you want help with the phone stuff, you can check out my phone addiction app in the description. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible to get off your phone. Okay, I'm gonna put a spell on me. I'm not a very experienced wizard. I haven't performed many spells, but I know this one's gonna work. And that spell is this. From now on, when I'm using my phone in a way that's not serving me, I want my body to feel bad. I want my body to give me a signal. Disgust, grief, anger, frustration, sadness, and anxiety to permeate my body. I want to be filled with it from head to toe. I want my body to tell me when I'm using technology in a way that's not serving my best interests, in a way that's not authentic to who I am deep down. That's the spell. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.